great treat for you. We were really thrilled to open 49 Up 7 years ago at this theater, and we're even more excited to have 56 up now and hopefully have 63 up in 7 years from now. We also have the director, Michael Apted, of the entire series, and Tony Walker.
Coming out on a Sunday night for this. Look at this, it's full up.
Thank you for waiting out there in the cold for me and everybody else. Also, I'd like to say a Happy New Year to you lovely people in New York.
Yay! Happy New Year.
And also, anyone who contributed to the fund of me getting here, because I had a Tony Walker to New York fund. And anyone in the audience who you know who you are, I'd like to say humbly thank you very much for the contribution. It made me feel very humble for your effort. Thank you.
Now, this is a little weird because Michael and Tony can join us afterward for a Q&A, so we'll do a little informal chat beforehand, which works a little better now, I think, because there have been several other of these films that have been leading up to this. So if maybe you could talk about, Michael, your first encounter with Tony and vice versa, and sort of the genesis of the project as well.
Yeah, well, the project when it started in '63 was just a kind of snapshot of England in that time. It was, England seemed to be changing, the United Kingdom changed, a lot of cultural things happening, a lot of music around, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, a lot of fashion and great literature and art. And the feeling was, from we cynics, was, well, was English society changing, or was it still kind of hidebound in its all-to-all social class? So we decided, rather than getting professionals in to discuss that, you know, psychologists, historians, journalists, whatever, why don't we get some 7-year-old children from different parts of the social landscape and just have them talk and just see what their view of the world is and what their view of the future is, and whether they have options, whether they have ideas, whether they have plans, or whether they're just sort of subsumed in kind of getting through the day every day. So it was very simple, and we went to schools that would help pull some 7-year children out and film them. But there was only going to be one thing, one film. And you know, looking back, we made some horrible mistakes. Not him,
I made them afterwards.
We didn't have enough women in it because in 1963, 64, it was inconceivable that a woman would be Prime Minister of England 15 years on. And also the ethnic landscape is very strange. There's only one person of colour in the film, and there were very few people of colour in the United Kingdom during that period. But anyway, so back to the question, I went around some of the poorer schools in the East End of London to find people that were unempowered in a sense. And I went to this school and I asked to see the brightest and the best, or the chattiest, who was 7 years old. And who should walk in, but you've got it.
Unimpaired. He suggests that I'm spotty, Michael.
Not yet, I don't.
Thank God. And also, you know, my arse hanging out me pants at that age, and, you know, scruffy little urchin running around. And he wanted a parody from one end to the social scale to the other. And so that's how the Up series was born. And that's how Michael and I become friends, as well as, you know.
Yeah, and I think the whole thing changed for me. You know, the English social system has changed a lot in the intervening 50 years, and even if I'd started the film 10 years later, it would have been different from this. But you know, when I was doing it, I researched 7, then I took over 14 and 21, and then at 28 I'd moved to America, and people who knew me said, "What is that film you're making in England? We want to see it." And I said, "Well, no, I don't want to show it to you because you won't understand. You won't understand the social context. You won't know the difference between a public school, which isn't public, and a private school, which isn't private, and a comprehensive school, etc." But anyway, they persuaded me to bring it here, and people did like it. It played at the New York and Los Angeles Film Festival. And it was an epiphany for me, because I could see I wasn't just still making a film about the English class system. I was making a film that could relate to people from all parts of the world. It was about the issues that we all have to face. And that kind of, for me, was a great liberating moment, that I didn't have to keep banging on the doors of the class system, that I could really relax a bit and focus on the way these personalities were developing and the way these personalities were responding to all the issues that all of us have that really became for me the turning point of the whole project.
For me, I was just happy to be there. I don't know. I mean, for me, I'm a very proud member of the cast, you know, the subjects, and I always look forward to the next one, you know, and the 7 years go so quickly, and, you know, I can remember every sentence, I can remember every sort of, you know, frame of the film, of even 7 up to 14, and I know nearly every word of dialogue of all the film. It has become my life, and for me, it's a great documentation of my life, and when I'm gone, you know, off this world, my grandchildren and my great-great-grandchildren will be able to put the CD in and say, that was him, there he is. So I'm a very proud member of it.
So if we want to take a couple quick questions just about the Up series in general, if anyone has any. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi. I'm interested in if you have any thoughts, both of you, about nature versus nurture, and you know, are we born with our personalities? How is the effect of nature and nurture?
Well, I can only speak on my behalf. I mean, the truth is saying is, give me a child until he's 7, I will show the man. And if you could see 7 years old, me running around that little playground, climbing over the fence, and, you know, chat, and you look at me now, I'm in exactly the same person. I may not have grown so much, as this microphone indicates, because they've anticipated the height. But I would say, if you saw me on my behalf at 7, you can certainly see me as a man, the same person.
So I think it's a bit of both. I think he's right. I think you can see the personality in the 7-year-old face that you're going to see in the 56-year-old. So that's nature. As far as nurture goes, who knows what life, how they've been influenced and how they've turning out, how they've solved problems or not solved problems. I don't think you can anticipate that from the 7-year-old child particularly. So I do feel there is, the one consistent thing is I don't think the personalities change that much.
Thank you.
Yes, over there.
How much do you think that being a character in the documentary and knowing that you're a character in this documentary has influenced and changed your life over this period of time?
People often ask me, with about 2 or 3 months to go, are you going to sort of say anything that you shouldn't say, or are you going to, you know, it doesn't happen like that. The real fact is, we trug along, live our normal life, and once you hit that sort of spot in that time, that place where the 7 years are up, whatever's happening in my life is then my book is opened, and that you know, that you read what's happened, and it goes on to another time. But I've never hid the fact that, you know, when it comes up to the...
You have become a celebrity in London.
Well, I have become a celebrity in London. I mean, it's often said that now, when they get into my cab in London, the guy often goes back to his wife and says, as a guest, who picked me up? Rather than when I pick up Johnny Depp 3 weeks ago, he says, like, I picked who you know, have a look who I got in the cab. Well, now the punters in the cab say, have a guess who picked me up? So, yes, I have become a celebrity, and I do enhance it, by the way. So.
I think you would have been a celebrity anyway.
Not for these reasons.
Yes, go ahead.
I wanted to ask you, I saw the movie. When I met you earlier, I told you I saw it at the New York Documentary Film Festival, and as I was watching it, I became aware of one more thing that the movie's about, being the subject of a movie. Would you say that there's sort of a postmodern aspect to the film, that it's...
That's sort of a question that they just asked. I don't know. I mean, of course they know what they're very savvy about what they do, and they're part of it, and they're very closely entwined with it, and they have opinions about it, as you'll see, about how it's executed and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I couldn't even begin to penetrate that question about, you know, how has it changed things and how has it made it bogus or not bogus. I can't even think about going there.
Yeah.
I think that we should show it now.
Yeah. Let's actually show you the movie. Thank you both so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, every gentleman. I do like the film.